Welcome to Basic Electronics Engineering course. Basic Electronics Engineering is a subject which is included in almost all the core engineering courses in their first year curriculum. This subject is very much important as it describes details of the component which are used for electronic circuit implementation. In today's world, we cannot ignore the importance of electronic devices in our daily life. Starting from the morning to the evening, we are engaged with various electronic devices for various activities. In the morning, we open our mobile to see the news updates. We are sitting on the computer to perform some specific task, online meetings. We are using digital camera for picking up some beautiful pictures. We are talking over mobile phone to communicate people at a distance. We are using electronic printers for hard documentation. For soft documentation, we are using electronic scanners. We are looking at the video clips for security purpose through webcams. So there are many electronic devices which are used worldwide, and the uses of such electronic devices are gradually growing day by day. That is why the research on new electronic devices are under tremendous progress. The new emerging field of electronic device, as well as we can say the electronics applications, is the robotics. There are various difficult jobs which are now possible using the robotics engineering. The robotics engineering is associated with electronics engineering, but there are many interdisciplinary subjects are in use, such as civil engineering, mechanical engineering, computer science. All these departments are also dealing with the robotics engineering, since it is a multidisciplinary activity. So that is why before going to describe what are the things present in the basic electronics engineering course, let us go through the course outcome statements. The first course outcome statement is to explain the working principles of PN junction diode, ideal diode, diode models and its circuit analysis, application of diode and special diodes. The second statement of the course outcome is to demonstrate how operational amplifiers are modeled and analyzed, and to design op-amp circuits to perform operations such as integration differentiation on electronic signals. The third statement states is to elaborate the concept of both positive and negative feedback in electronic circuits. And the final course outcome statement is to develop the capability to analyze and design simple circuits containing nonlinear elements such as transistors using the concept of load lines, operating points, and incremental analysis. There are some prerequisites required for understanding the basic electronics engineering, such as the fundamental of electricity, direct current, devices and circuits, series and parallel circuits, to the study of active and passive components, Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's voltage and current law, Ampere's law, etc. There are so many electronic devices or gadgets we are using daily. Here are some pictures given. These are not all, but they are few among various devices which are used worldwide. To name a few, these are computers, flash drives, copier, scanner, timer, MP3 player, calculator, DVD player, record player, tablet computers, stereo, faxi machine, flat screen TV, answering machine, landline, radio, webcam, camcorder, obviously monitor, headphones, mouse, speakers. So these are few among those devices which are used in our daily life. Regarding the electronic circuit implementation, there are two type of circuit. One is the breadboard realization, another is the printed circuit board realization. For the breadboard realization, why it is required? Because breadboard is the loose tappings through which we can manipulate a circuit. Suppose we require several types of output to study. At that time, the patch cords could be pulled up and fixed into some separate location to vary the output. So for various studies of the circuit before its final structure, we can use breadboard for our temporary study, and later on, once the circuit has been finalized, we need the firm connection, which is possible using printed circuit board technology. So PCB is the short form of printed circuit board. So this PCB realization is required because when the user uses a particular device, he needs firm connection of the electronic components. And using soldering method, this printed circuit board technology can confirm all the firm connection between the electronic components. Out of the prerequisite, the first and foremost concept is the direct current and the alternating current. For the direct current, battery is the source. For the alternating current, an AC signal is the source. In both the case, load is the target through which the current has to propagate. For the direct current analysis, the current is unidirectional. For the alternating current, the current is bidirectional. That is, not always the load is receiving the current, it is also sourcing the current. That means current is going to the load and it is also returning back from the load. And from the graphical analysis, it is clear that the direct current has a fixed amount of voltage. It is not varying with respect to time. Whereas in case of alternating current, if you see, the magnitude is fluctuating. Sometimes it is going to the positive peak value and it is falling to the negative peak value. The two successive peak has a time gap known as one cycle or one time period. This is an important electronic signal parameter which are used for several mathematical calculations. Series circuit and parallel circuit concept is also very much important to understand electronic devices and its operations. In a very simple pictorial diagram, it is shown that all these bulbs are acting as loads. In case of series circuit, the same current is flowing through all the bulbs, whereas in case of parallel circuit, the current has been divided into all these bulbs. Whereas in case of series circuit, though the voltage is divided into several bulbs, current remains same. In case of parallel circuit, though the voltage across the bulb remains same, but the current is divided. So these are the basic differences one should know before understanding basic electronics engineering. Regarding the components utilized in electronic devices, it has broad category of active component and passive component. In both the case, the actual look and the symbolic look are given. Let us first understand what is the active component and what is passive component. For active component, it is a component which delivers power to the system, and it is the passive component which consumes power from the system. Regarding the active component, here some of the components are mentioned: transistor, which is bipolar junction transistor, diode, light emitting diode, photodiode, integrated circuit, operational amplifier, 7-segment display, battery. And regarding the passive component which consumes power are the resistor, light dependent resistor, thermistor, capacitor, inductor, switch, variable resistor, transformer, etc. Regarding the sources, signal sources, there are two broad categories. One is the independent source, another is the dependent source. The main difference between the independent and dependent is that the independent source does not depend on the existence of any branch in the circuit, whereas the dependent source depends on the existence of a particular branch in the circuit. That means if a branch in the circuit exists, it might have some current flowing through it or a voltage is appearing across it. If this current or voltage on which a source depends, then it is called a dependent source. But if a source is not depending, then it is an independent source. So such independent sources may be voltage or current, and such dependent sources may be voltage or current. Regarding few laws which are important to understand the basic electronics engineering, Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's law are very important law. Regarding the Ohm's law, as it has already been studied in 10+2, it depicts the voltage or potential difference appearing across a load is proportional to the current flowing through it, keeping all other ambient conditions remain same. The voltage appearing across the impedance V, the current flowing through the impedance is I, and the resistance, which is the proportionality constant, that is V proportional to I, and the proportionality constant is the resistance, are having the relation V equal to IR. There is an important cartoon which is shown in the figure, that is voltage is pushing the ampere when Ohm is restricting the ampere to flow. So here the narrow passage shows the impedance which is controlled by the Ohm, and ampere is trying to flow through that Ohm resistor when voltage is giving the power. So if the passage is not wider, the current cannot flow. And the relation between current and resistor is that if the low resistance, then the path is wider, current will be flowing more. The Kirchhoff's law are of two types, Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law. Kirchhoff's current law is around through the node, and the Kirchhoff's voltage law is around a loop. In the loop, it is seen that there are some voltage sources and components. Components are consuming power and voltages are delivering power. But every component or voltage source are having some amount of voltage. If we take the algebraic sum of voltage around the loop, that should be equal to 0 according to Kirchhoff's voltage law. And as per the Kirchhoff's current law, the current around the node, particular node, the algebraic sum of the current is equal to 0. And the convention is that the current leaving a node is sensed positive and current entering a node is sensed negative. The Bohr's atomic model is the foundation knowledge of basic electronics. Without Bohr's atomic model, we cannot think about electronics because it gives the atomic structure concept. In a particular element, the atom has nucleus at its center, which is consist of proton and neutron, and there are several orbits through which electrons are hovering, where n equal to 1, 2, 3 are the orbital number. Now here electrons are hovering in orbits having fixed quantity of energy. The electrons which are rotating in a particular orbit does not radiate or consume any energy. If an electron release energy, then it jumps from outer orbit to the inner orbit, and the radiating energy is nothing but the product of the Planck's constant and the radiating frequency. If an electron absorbs energy from the ambient heat or light, it jumps to the outer orbit. In a particular orbit, the number of electron has the equation 2n square. That is, if the orbital number is 2, then the number of electron possible is 2 into 2 square, that means 8. The number of electron in the outermost orbit determines the valency of the element. The angular momentum of electron in a particular orbit is given by n into h divided by 2 pi. So in this way, there are several information we can gather from Bohr's atomic model. In the next video, we will go to the semiconductor physics. That will be module 1. In the module 2, we will discuss about the diodes. In the module 3, we will discuss about the bipolar junction transistors. thereafter field effect transistors, and finally operational amplifier and feedback amplifier with cathode ray oscilloscopes. Thank you.